Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Business Resource Partners Live. Today on BRP Live, we will be discussing the Internet of Things and some of the new Facebook privacy issues that have been coming up. As you know, if you download apps on your cell phone, they ask for special permissions, so we're going to be covering some of that stuff. And then also, like I said, the Internet of Things and how that eventually is going to affect you and your everyday life. So let's get on to this. So, so first thing we're covering is the Internet of Things. With the Internet of Things, I'm hearing things going on in the background. With the Internet of Things, if I can see that I've switched screens, that would help. So, on the Internet of Things, easy definition of the Internet of Things is that all your devices, be it your cell phone, your smart home, your smart light bulbs, your computer that's connected to the internet, is what is known as the Internet of Things. Eventually, it could include stuff like your refrigerator or your washing machine, or even your toaster. What a lot of security experts are afraid of is with the Internet of Things, not necessarily every device that you have on the internet will be as secure as, say, your computer, because with your computer you have antivirus software, anti-intrusion software, all those things to keep you and your information protected. When you're using said Internet of Things, not every device is going to be as protected. So you can have, say, one conference that I went to about internet security is that somebody might be able to hack your toaster and then burn your house down. That's a far-flung example, but it's something to be aware of. If you don't protect your entire network, you're at risk of something as that. Here on this website that I have pulled up, which is from Forbes.com, it's an article about the simple explanation of the Internet of Things. They have the concept is the Internet of Things is anything from your cell phone, coffee maker, washing machine, headphones, lamps, wearable devices, components of devices such as a jet engine or an oil or a drill of an oil rig. Just about anything that can be connected to a network that can be accessed from an outside location. Um, it explains here, how does that impact you? Eventually, it's going to be something as simple as you're trying to drive to a meeting and you put in your calendar that you need to be at this meeting by this time. Your navigation system will know, hey, traffic's late, so traffic's heavy, so it's going to send a text to the person you're going to be meeting with, and it's going to say, hey, this person's going to be late. You have an alarm clock at 6. It's going to tell your coffee maker to start making coffee for you. Your fridge, in the smart fridge situation, is going to know that you're running low on milk, so it's going to reorder milk for you. It says here, wearable devices will be able to tell that you're more productive in this one area than another, so it'll tell you to keep working in there. Eventually, you can scale it up to something as smart as a smart city, where all the infrastructure communicates with everybody's personal devices. You'll be seeing on your screens here in a little bit a breakdown of a smart world where they can tell what the CO2 levels are, if there's a fire in the area, how to take care of your children, how to take care of the environment as a whole, the level of replacement needed by either roads or the buildings, or hey, this car needs to have its brakes replaced. All of these things that eventually will be able to connect to the internet are what is known as the Internet of Things. Now, in this next article I have here that's on FoxNews.com is about how hackers could turn a smart city into a house of cards. Basically, right now everyone's afraid that hackers are going to break in and steal your personal information from your cell phones or from, say, your banking website. But what this article is mentioning is that eventually hackers could hack an entire city and hold an entire smart city for ransom. You may remember ransomware that was going around recently. And what this means, they would hold your computer hostage and you'd have to pay them a certain amount of money or bitcoins to have access back to your computer. What this is bringing up is eventually hackers could, say, hack GPS of the city to force you to go in a less than optimal route to, potentially hijack you or steal your car. Or in cases of high value targets, they could use it to send them to an area where they could kill them potentially. Let's see here. It says one of the most troubling scenarios by Alexandru Balin, a researcher at Bitdefender, said that one of the things he's afraid of is that cities using power meters. A hacker could shut down power to a entire city by taking advantage of these smart power meters, and he could shut down an entire city based off of hacking one meter. So there's a lot to be aware of when it comes to the Internet of Things and smart devices. But at the same time, these smart devices have improved the average life of the average citizen to such a degree that the technology is going to continue to be built regardless of the outside threat, because as we have more devices, the more we're going to use them to better the public life, the public setting, and eventually, hopefully, be able to cure diseases that before no one had any idea of how to do it, by sharing all this knowledge we have across the Internet of Things. Now, to move on to other things, as you may or may not know, Facebook is under fire right now for breach of private data, personal information, and there's a lot going on with that. Recently, I heard that their stock prices have been down by at least 5% over the last couple of days. One thing to be aware of when you're using any free software such as Facebook, where they ask for you to choose privacy settings, ask you to give them personal information, you're trading this personal information for access to a free service. When you're using Facebook in particular, they ask you to read a really long document that says that, the terms and conditions, saying that you want to use this service. These are the things you have to do to be allowed to use our service, and if you want to, you have to give us this stuff. That's why people can get kicked off of Facebook for using fake names, for using profane, threatening language, because it violates their terms and conditions. One of those things included in the terms and conditions says that you allow Facebook to gather your information to be used for targeted advertising, among other things. recently across America and the European Union, it's been the public has been made aware that uh, data leaks have been occurring, and that they've been using this personal information that you've given Facebook to not only use targeted ads, but to target political advertisements, trying to get people to lean to vote a certain way. That being said, once again, you have given them the authorization to use that information. Now, one argument I've heard is, well, sure, we've agreed to let Facebook use it, but not this third party. If you didn't read the terms and conditions, you don't know what's inside of it. You don't know if they might have said, hey, we're going to take your information and give it to this third party to use for however they want, or that we might sell your personal information to this third party. Now, if you said no to the terms and conditions, sure, you don't get to use the service, but then your information doesn't get sold. That's the easy way to put it. There's a lot more details to it that if you want to discuss, feel free to contact me through our Facebook pages or make an appointment with me at our office so I can help you understand your online footprint and your security risk through not only your Facebook or your Internet of Things, and how to be able to protect yourself. Let's see. Got another article here on PC Mag about Facebook being sued over call and SMS collections. Now, this is where we break into the information that you agree to give Facebook and other apps on your cell phone. Now, when you download an app, it says that apps require certain permissions to be able to use on your phone. Not everybody reads them, not everybody completely understands what they're doing. In this article here, it says, as referring to a Reuters report, the lawsuit is in response to a revelation that Facebook has been logging call and SMS data for Android users for years. Facebook admits that they collected the data, but it denies doing so without permission. Once again, that comes back to you have to give it authorization to use certain things. If you use, say, Facebook Messenger for your text messages, it has to be recorded on Facebook's side so you can be able to see them and then send them. If you use it for your calls, they have to be able to record the information to send it back and forth. Not only did you agree to it, but in legal circles, they need to have that information in case they're subpoenaed in a court case about terrorism or criminal activity and the like. There was a legal battle early last year about the San Bernardino shooter's iPhone. The FBI wanted to get into the iPhone of the San Bernardino, California shooter, but Apple refused to give them access. Eventually, the FBI got in anyway, but they needed that information in order to pursue criminal charges and discover criminal intent. A lot of these things people just blindly agree to without understanding what they're really saying that these apps can do. Just off the top of my head, going back to Facebook again, to use Facebook, you have to give them your name and your birthday because they don't allow people under a certain age, I believe it's 13, to have access to their website. Then you have to agree to terms and conditions, which is a legally binding document, basically saying that you won't use Facebook to commit a crime or things of that nature. And then when you download the Facebook app, you have to allow it access to your camera so you can take pictures from your phone to upload directly to Facebook. So you give it access to your camera. Then to record a video, you have to give it access to your microphone. To be able to send messages through the Messenger app, you have to allow it to have access to your SMS, which is your text messages. But no one really reads into that and understands what it means. On the surface, it's really not a big deal because, in order to be able to take a picture and put it on Facebook, I have to allow Facebook to have access to my camera and then your camera roll. And you have to be aware of what you're agreeing to, be it as something as little as a Facebook app or having your data hacked and stolen. This last article I have pulled up here is from news.harvard.edu, uh, talking about how internet privacy and you need to be afraid of your privacy not being existent on the internet. Says here that the United States has fewer privacy protections than other countries. Apparently in April 2017, from the look of this, because this article was posted August 24th, 2017, Congress voted to allow ISPs, internet service providers, to collect and sell customers' browsing data. By contrast, the European Union hit Google with a 2.7 billion antitrust fine. Basically, once again, this comes back to the Internet of Things, being aware that your information is out there, people are watching you. With the more technology grows, the easier it's going to be to find out information about the person next to you or across the street or that you're working with. So if you don't want that information getting out there, don't put it on the internet. That's your first step. I'm not saying go back to paper and pencil and hiding your money under your mattress, because these inventions have saved and improved our lives in such dramatic fashions that it can't really be summarized in a little article. But you have to be aware that you, in exchange for using this technology, for using all these advancements, for using the free services that are Facebook and Google, you have to exchange something for that. There's constant exchange of goods and services. The typical model is you want, say, your house to have a plumber come by and fix your plumbing. You give them money and they give you a service. With Facebook and the internet, it's they give you the service, which is Facebook or Google, and you give them your information in exchange for it. Listed here are some low-tech tips to protect your online privacy. Don't post identifying details on public sites, such as Facebook. Use search engines that don't track or store your information. This article recommends DuckDuckGo. Turn your location services off so your phone isn't as easily tracked. There are still ways to track your phone even when your location services is turned off. Put a sticker over your computer's camera so that way they can't use your webcam to look at you. Put a sticker on it. You can put there are privacy shields to put over your webcams. Don't use cloud backup software, and set your computer to delete your browsing cookies and your browsing history. Ultimately, you have to make the decision on your own of what are you willing to exchange for these services, be it Facebook, Google, a plumber. You have to be willing to understand the risk that comes with it. You can hire a plumber and he can accidentally break a pipe and flood your entire house. That's a risk you have to take when you have a plumber, and that's a lot easier for most people to wrap their heads around, because a plumber is someone you can see, you can talk to, you can shake hands with. Whereas Facebook is a large corporate entity that you don't get to really see or put your hands on, to shake hands with, to talk to. It's a large faceless organization that really, in the minds of most people, just kind of exists in the same way that a religion exists. It's something that you have to believe in, that you can't really put your hands on. And as technology continues to advance, as we continue to become more interconnected through the Internet of Things, through our smart devices, through technology, you have to be aware that these things can happen, and that the world is constantly changing with technology. Um, I'm just pulling up our Business Resource Partners website now, so that way you can see how to contact me after this broadcast is completed. We are on business-resource-partner.com or brp.team. If you feel the need to set up a appointment with any of us, you can go to our client portal and book an appointment. You can book an appointment with me. Once again, my name is Mason, and I am the IT division for Business Resource Partners, and I can help you with your digital security and your digital footprint and how to be safer when you are browsing the internet and when you are using your smartphone and smart devices. So I'll leave the broadcast up for a little bit longer to give you a chance to ask questions or make a comment. If you're viewing this after the broadcast has ended, you can feel free to send us a message on either of our Facebook pages, leave a comment on our YouTube page. You can send us an email to any of our staff, or you can book an appointment, come to the office and come have a conversation with me there. So let's give this a little bit of time to see if anybody has any questions. Let's see. I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover pretty well today. Internet of Things, hackers taking over cities, Facebook, data protection, real world protection. Come to our website, come make an appointment. As always, we will have our Monday Minutes, which go out Mondays, anywhere between 9 and 10. We like to have those out every week, barring tax season. We have our weekly Wednesday class starts at 10:30 on Wednesdays, covering a variety of topics. At this point in time, it doesn't look like we're going to have any more questions or any questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this broadcast today, and I hope to see you all next week where we have another class. Once again, Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. we will have another class. We also have the Monday Minutes that will be coming out on Monday. Feel free to contact us at our office or through any of our social media sites at any time. We'd be glad to help you with whatever you need personally or as a business. Thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again next time.